Okay, the winds are very strong and it's raining and I'm not going out today. This is Green World Croft Farm Diary on the 19th of February 2021. Oh, it's my daughter's birthday. Oh, fantastic. It makes her 16 today. Can you believe that? Here is my friend, the herring gull. He's come for his food. I decided to feed him this way. Come on. We've got gales today and strong rain. Strong winds and heavy rain. And I'm supposed to think about how can I go and feed my 14 sheep. I'm not really sure how this is going to work. As it's quite a new endeavour for myself with my limitations of health. Come on. Come on, Gully. Come on, Gully. Come on. Yes, Gully. Come on, Gully. Yeah. Come on, Gully. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy! Yay! Gully, Gully! Ah. Oh, I managed to get out. The rain paused just for a brief moment here for me to come out for the morning chorus. So let's get started. That's the continuation of rainfall there for February. We've had quite a lot actually. Yes. Quite a lot so far. You can see the water running there in the ground there, you see? On the surface there, I mean. You can see the water running there on the surface, the waterway. Say hello to my plants. Haven't said hello for 2 days, I think. Good morning, my family, my child. The tree for gifted life, for long life. I send my energy down through your branch, into your trunk, into your roots, into the ground, of which the ground is the pure, natural, true platform of life. Which I ask for the platform of life to send the energy up to me. Energy of life, where we can care, be compassionate, humble, respectful, be true within ourselves, which comes from the very plant I'm holding on to. But without being alive, being natural, being part of nature, it cannot be true, can it? Help us to become better, all of us, in the way we live, a greener way, a more simplified and diluted way we humans are to live. Therefore, we will be in harmony with nature. I hope. I know in my life it may not exist, in the totalness of it all. I don't know if there will be any possibility for life to exist, to not start growing up and realizing the reality, the pure, natural, true reality that's actually going on around us by our actions. We fail to want to accept it. And we are basically cutting life off, existence, of the possibility of life to exist for our young children. And I'm a father for. So the world better get a grip of itself fast, because it's making me very upset. And it's not just the world, it's the governments. They are the ones purely and and the only ones. We are to blame, presently. So the governments are the leaders, the guiders, something in place like around the world relating to dealing with COVID and many other diseases and pandemics that have come around. But the largest one so far is corona. And there have been many more such pandemics towards nature, the natural life, attacking the natural life and harming it and killing it. For it is where we, our humans, our lifestyle, where we farm the natural life, these diseases have taken hold. For years we've been in this way, generations, and we have learned ways to ignore. We think we can push and bully nature around. Nature has the ability to formulate balance. We don't. We are to adhere, abide by nature, not tell nature what to do. This is all faith and saving grace. Until we begin to understand this, life will be taken away from us bit by bit. This is a fact. It's hard to hear. There's no more soft talk when it comes to the governments and their fellow members under their umbrellas that they lead. Even councils, but they are major ones, who do not even assist and help people, such like they are subsistence farmers, and they make things so hard, so difficult to even put a home off-grid on your farm. Red tape here, red tape there. You can't do this, you can't do this. You're living with nature and you're helping nature. And our way of putting an off-grid home with the correct composting toilet, with the correct rainwater harvesting system in there, which we can filter and drink. It goes through a 4-stage filtration system. Putting in there solar, if we can afford it. But yet, we can't do it. Yet, there are barriers. Yet, we are told to connect to a grid, a switch grid. When you live more than 2 tennis courts away from the road, and you've got more than a 60 to 80 foot gradient height to go, what do you expect us to do? Pay for it? When it's cheaper to install something that will help nature, your own sewage being recycled, that it can go into nature and help the fruit trees and the vegetables on the farm. I mean, how shallow can we get as a human race, not understanding how we can work with nature? We have lost it. And this is where we've got to come better. But is the term better, or is the term pure? It is pure. Understanding nature, the way how nature is able to rehabilitate itself by focusing on individual habitats, joining these individual habitats together to understand how nature functions, not put it in place, not change how nature is doing it, but we are to join in with nature in the same way. Good boy. Good boy. That's his madam. Now coming closer to him. Coming closer to obviously the last one was just about moving away. He was here yesterday. The female is saying, partner back. The male is not bond with the female while the young one is there. Because he prioritizes his energy and the feeding and food to the young. Well, continuing from my conversation this morning about the difficulties with crofting. I'm a new incomer to Crofting. I'm not young, but it is with great respect and honor I took the tendency that I've got, for I wish to care for nature, and embrace nature where it is, help nature in its natural habitats which it has created, or been able to in its limited way create and maintain, as we can see with the fields, just fields, no brush, no trees, nothing. And my hope is to bring biodiversity, richness to the actual land. And even with this, there's so much difficulty, as the UN yesterday released another stark report, which we all know about, particularly the governments, but they turn a blind eye. And this is why over 10 years ago, and more so in the last 5 years, I released more videos saying we need a green world, we require a green world fund, which the World Bank puts together, where all nations are able to tap into it. And it's strictly for pandemic disasters, natural disasters, situations like climate change, where we are to intervene as a government, more so the government, because they're the ones why the climate is turning that way and why nature is dying, because it's the way of life. They want to make revenue, turnover, and everything they look at, they've got to make a buck on it, and especially with extreme capitalism. And unfortunately, with the issue we hold at hand, which is we have not got much time to protect our life. We don't have much life left if we don't start acting as a united world relating to climate change. And the World Bank has got to intervene to create such a fund. Maybe you may name it something else, but it is a fund which all nations are to be able to access. It does not cost any of the nations, the people on or within the nations, the taxpayers, any extra taxes. And this is the problem. This green fund will therefore be distributed when required to the different nations for the purpose it's allocated for helping with a pandemic, so the government does not have to use the taxpayers' money to, for instance, prepare a vaccine, research a vaccine. All this comes from the Green World Fund, and this is how it should be. And if you do not do it, it happens like with the vaccines, where they try to profit on it, and lives again become at danger. And this is the problem with our world natural life, where the governments are attempting, which they have been all our lives, profitizing, which there is no other way that the governments can make money but by charging taxes, or coming to your door and collecting from everybody certain, what I would call a toll fee payment. And but they want to live their luxurious lives as governments and councillors, and so unfortunately the many have to suffer, which is the natural life, and also the humans who pay the taxes. But the way of life, it is to be where there is money required, other than or outwith of just the regular routine rollover of the way the government governs in its living, the system it lives. The system which is managed for the taxpayers, to repair the roads, to put sewage system in, the basic, what I would call the basic utility and functionality of keeping harmony and peace. There are the taxes for that, and this should be minimal, because if we live a greener way of life, where nature comes first, there won't be so much required. because actually there won't be so many people congested in one area. Neither will there be so much farmers farming too many livestock on one farmland, which the farmland cannot manage. Neither trees nor poultry. Everything is distributed fairly, just like what COVID has shown us. Don't put things too close together. So I urge the governments to come together. I urge the World Bank to step in, whether my video makes any sense to you all or you all see it or not. But it is urgent, and we all know this. And the UN comes forward with these reports for the governments to act on it. And I'm a people of the government. I'm a people in this world. I represent myself and my family. I represent a greener way that we could live, and it is so easy to do. But it is to curb the government's thoughts, the people who are within the government system, led by the governments, who most of the time are brainwashed to believe a certain way that the government wishes the people who are paid by the government to follow the instructions. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's correct, because it isn't. That's why we've got so much problems with climate change, and we've got so much problems with people in general. If we simplify our ways of life as a human, which goes more greener, living towards with nature, only what is renewable by nature we can put and live by in our way of lives from now on. Anything that's not renewable we cannot have around us, only in the minimum where there is a priority of it required. But it's so simple to understand this. Instead of putting more red tape and more closed doors, simplify our life a little bit. Because the mental strain that we've got on ourselves right now just to live simple, and still the government's trying to make money, it's not working. So the World Bank has got to come in with a green fund to be able to fund anything to do with disaster, natural disaster, pandemics, climate change, putting lands into proper, what I would call the base platform for life to exist, where lands are not properly cared for. And that is the biggest problem, as this was discussed also yesterday on the 18th of February 2021 by someone who represents a side by we are to live a greener way to live. I would call it one of the big bodies which are fighting for a better way, a greener way to live. I don't remember which institution, but a small person like me may not be heard. But what I'm saying, I've been saying for over 10 years. When I came here, when I moved away from civilization to look for a better, more greener, more peaceful place to live, I ended up here. Unfortunately, it is impacting here even more of a rapid rate, because we've got to separate the two. We've got to separate the base platform of life, which is nature, and what nature requires and what nature requires us to do to live with it in harmony. Obey it. Follow its guidelines. So, World Bank, produce this fund and allow it to happen promptly, so that the governments don't have an excuse, nor the councils, as what is happening presently, for they're still required to make money. And until this is relinquished from the responsibilities of the governments or the councils, where they have to fund it through their revenue to correct or curb or take a new direction towards a greener way to live, rather than the fund, a Green World Fund, being put into place, where therefore it will come, the actions will be made much faster, because there's no way that the government can make revenue at present with the coronavirus or anything at present state, because the planet can't take it, the natural environment can't take it, the people can't take it, mentally nor physically. So how on earth is the government, or are the governments expected to make more revenue to fund an astronomical amount of money
which we know money doesn't exist. It's a root to all evil. It's only a creation by us for control. Now, let's use it for the better. Let's make life with it. Let us help nature by the World Bank producing this Green World Fund, where all governments and all persons who are doing things, helping nature, working with nature, caring for nature, making the world a greener way to live, making communities a greener way to live, making communities become more united, helping each other, working together to make it greener. It will take a lot of money. Therefore, the governments cannot make this money. It's impossible. And this stalemate which is here right now, which the world's population, the governing population, the governments are not accepting and realizing, tell the World Bank and all of you unite and say it's not going to work. We require an extra fund that is a neutral fund. Everyone can access it, and let us start acting on climate change now. Peace. Respect your life. Respect others' lives. More so, put nature in front of you and respect it. Put a tree, put a sparrow, put a robin, put a goose, a geese, a duck, a horse, whatever life, a bee. Put them all in front of you and look at them. And if you are a father or you are a mother, look at all the children in front of you with all these natural life forms. We're all one. We all have a heart and a soul. Therefore, we are to respect each one of us. And by producing this Green World Fund, which the World Bank is to do now, as I said, an urgent message 5 years ago with a video, and nothing was done. I plea now, or it's too late.
Go, go, go.